Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final day of Week 8 here for LCK Summer 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by the wonderful Wadid, as we have T1 facing Dynamics for our first match, and then KT versus Gen G for the final one of the week. It's an exciting day and a big one for both of these teams.
Oh yeah, some people can say it's one-sided, but
yeah,
last time Dynamics showed up some upset against T1, so it can be happen again today as well.
Well, we'll see, because we once again have Closer in the mid lane. Haven't seen Faker for, quite a few matches now, and I think that Kuzan is probably his biggest test that he's had so far.
And also Dynamics showed up last time when they played against Africa Freaks. Even though they lost, their performance was improving, definitely. So I think they can actually make upset today as well.
And I think also, Rich versus Canna is a really fun matchup. I think Rich has been performing better and better as the weeks go on. I think, like we said, Closer versus Kuzan is a big one, and the bottom lane is also going to be something that comes into question, because Stockdom has not been playing all that well, and Teddy has only been getting better, I think. He had a sort of a slump a couple of weeks ago, but since then has really been putting the team on his back in a lot of these instances.
Yeah, and also efforts. Performances.
Oh man, that guy's super
right
good. He's super good.
So I think my only worry is Dynamics' bot lane, if they can actually make it out to the lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they have new cards like Jean and Heimerdinger, so I still think that Dynamics has a chance to better than maybe a lot of people think. And yeah, Closer again.
I know. I think that he is certainly going to be a big wild card for this one. Having a look at the points of the match, two teams with opposite momentum. Dynamics hasn't won a series in round 2. Oh my god, I didn't even realize that they've been doing that poorly. And round 1 T1 was the last time Dynamics got the win. And if they can replicate that, it'll certainly be good news for Dynamics and will keep their playoff dreams alive. If they lose here, Dynamics are out of the playoff race. There is no way that they can make it. Still quite unlikely, right? Because if they win here, they still require 2 losses for Africa. In fact, they can't let Africa win any of the matches coming up, because they're not going to be able to quite get to that scoreline. But having a look at the team stats, things still looking better for T1. And as far as round 2 is concerned, as you can see, it's getting better as far as, bloodiness, average win time. Look, 10 minutes faster here for T1 compared to Dynamics. And when we're talking about win times, there's not that many wins that you can go off when it comes to Dynamics, because of course they haven't been doing very much winning in round 2. They've won the odd game here and there. It's been a few 3-game series when it comes to Dynamics, but otherwise it has been a bit of a rough showing.
Yeah, and also normally good teams right now are just making it fast to just break the nexus, So it shows that even though Dynamics has the lead, they have some issues about snowballing all the game. And yeah, probably with their new drafts and new strategy, they can actually make the new record. But it's against T1, that's why it makes it harder.
It is very tough. It is going to be the same roster that you've gotten used to here for Team Dynamics. When it comes to roster, things are definitely more shaken up over on the side of T1. Kuz will be starting in the jungle. No LM this time around, and Closer retains his spot there in the mid lane. Faker is here. Saw him backstage, so don't worry, guys. He could be subbed in if things go wrong. But Teddy and Effort there towards the bottom side. I think, I know the storyline is largely about Closer at the moment.
Yeah.
But Effort's shot calling has just been so clear in their most recent games, and I think that's had a lot of impact on how fast T1 have been playing and how decisive they've been. And yes, this matchup, definitely very important. We've got a new stat for you, by the way.
It's
lane
not solo
kills, which is solo kills on their lane opponent.
Lane only, yeah. So it shows that Canna is just... I don't feel like he's a rookie player, He just started his story at the spring split, and now it feels like he's already considered as top 3 in LCK. It's just amazing how Coach Kim grows up the new rookie top laners to the top levels in LCK and even Wars.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I remember when I got a random message from Joe Marsh at the beginning of the year before Kesper Cup, and he's like, "We've got a bit of a surprise for you," and then all of a sudden, Roach is out and Canna's in, and it's been the same way ever since. And he's only been getting better over time. Whether it's going to be enough up against the powerhouse that is the Hots God Rich, we'll see whether it's going to. But there he is on your screen. I like the ruffled hair look. And Rich over the other side, he's looking a little bit tired. Let's see whether he can get himself together for this particular game.
I mean, he's still Hots God, indeed, because last time when he was calling the Nexus, he was like, yeah, focus on core. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And Beyond, I mean, it seems like Beyond is only playing Olaf and Trundle, and which is not that meta right now, nowadays.
No.
So it feels like it make it harder to dynamics when it comes to the draft. So I'm wondering if it's gonna change, but there's no doubt about Kuzan's performance though.
I think Kuzan's really good, and I think that it's really cool that we get a bit of a ramp up for Closer, right?
Yeah.
Going up against harder and harder opponents. Yes, their last two matches are going to be much harder, right? Showmaker followed by Chovy. Showmaker, I think, is definitely the best performing player in the league at the moment. He's just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Everything is going great for T1. After Faker got benched, his solo can stuffs are showing that he's also healing himself. And look at the team performance as well. Like, everyone is healing.
I think so too.
I think the storyline is going really great for T1, especially when they think about the playoffs. So, yeah, if Closer can close out the hope for the Dynamics' playoff, then it's going to be amazing as well.
I mean, T1, they need third place in playoffs, and they basically auto-qualify to Worlds.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be very, very hard for anyone to get more points than them outside of a Gen G who comes second. And I even think that if Gen G comes second, if T1 then comes third, they have more circle points regardless at the end of the split. So yeah, I had to do a bit of quick math a couple of minutes before the broadcast, but I think that's how it works. I'll confirm for you guys maybe in between series here. Zoe's going to be banned first here by Dynamics against Closer, and the Trundle banned in response. They're just going to target Beyond, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like Beyond was decent player. Oh, man.
Zoe, Aurelia, Akali. Let's go, Dynamics. Let's do it. Let's just ban out all of his champions.
I mean, you know what? T1 back in the day, if you ban Azir plus TF plus Kalista, it felt like T1 is just completely dead, you know?
Yeah.
But right now you have Closer, so they're just making new draft. Just ban Closer.
I guess. Well, Set is going to be the one thing that is out of left field.
Yeah.
Banned against basically everyone. Set seems extraordinarily flexible. Volibear going to be banned away here as Dynamics. Just look for the Caitlyn button and they'll probably lock that one in.
Yeah. They made the Caitlyn team competition last time against the Africa Freaks, even though Doctor was playing not the 100% of Caitlyn play.
Yeah. I also think Ben was finding some outrageous hooks onto the Caitlyn.
That's true as well.
That was insane.
But anyways, Dynamics won that game, you know, so they have good memories about the Caitlyn, so...
She's also really, really, really strong.
Yeah.
Like, Caitlyn's pretty obscene at the moment. And it's only like, it was a couple of base stats buffs. But like, once that happens and people realize that IE into Storm Razor is so much damage, like, the headshots are just insane.
Yeah. That's how League works, you know?
Yeah, right.
And this draft looks pretty rough for Beyond already because T1 banned out Trundle and take out Olaf from him, so I'm wondering if he's gonna play Zarvan again or something that is not good in this meta, or Lee Sin and Graves, like, not LCK-ish jungler champions, but it can be really good for Beyond.
I think Malrong's done something really weird to the LCK when it comes to that Graves, man. Like, no one yesterday was playing it with the Ignite. I think the Ignite really gave the Graves something else, you know, but they extinguished the cigar. And,
it pressures himself, you know?
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Pick up the Ignite.
Well, this bottom lane is already looking real scary.
Yeah.
Dynamics. Lux Caitlyn is a hell of a lot of control, and this is exactly what you were talking about. Beyond feels a little bit pinched. Into the Jarvan.
But I'm not sure if this is good choice again. Pick Lux into Karma, because normally in lane, Karma's poke potential is so much better than Lux, so you cannot win lane easily as Lux support. And if that happens, a Lux pick is just nothing, you know?
Yeah. Well, the Lucian is going to be banned away here. We're targeting Kuzan and Rich's sort of premier pick for lane dominance. This is a team that you are allowed to ban Lucian against. It's not, you know, Sandbox, who didn't necessarily do too well on the old Lucian top lane yesterday.
I'm wondering what champion Closer are going to play right now.
Well, I mean, I have a feeling Silas is going to be banned second here by Dynamics.
Yeah.
And T1 will lock in Kennen. And then Dynamics will pick Galio Camille. Camille's going to have a rough matchup, but the team comp is just going to be really, really strong. And then we'll have to see what Closer has, as Azir is going to be banned away. Unless T1 decides that they just want to take something like the Camille themselves. They can still flex this Karma absolutely everywhere.
They can put Karma on the mid lane, and it's completely fine, but maybe bot lane can be harder.
Well, there's the first part of what I was talking about. Is it going to be Kennen? I think Kennen is extremely strong at the moment. There is a lot of range on Dynamic's side, and Kennen doesn't really like Lux or Jarvan that much.
Syndra.
Okay.
It reminds me Faker's old days.
I know, right? I mean, I think Faker's got a skin for this one too, right?
Yeah.
But there's just so many. There's so many skins.
But this time around, Closer is showing Syndra off.
Yeah. I'm excited. This is definitely a lot more LPL flavor. I feel like Syndra has, I don't know, taken a backseat here in the LCK. LPL still prioritizes this champion extraordinarily highly.
I mean, I feel like LPL players are more active on Syndra pick. They are making all the pressure themselves, so...
I'm really sad that we're not going to see the Galio and the Camille. I love those two picks in conjunction with one another, but not going to happen this time around. As Twisted Fate is being completely ignored, by the way.
His laning phase is pretty bad right now. When I was like talking with all the high yellow players and also pro players, they are saying that TF's laning phase is even worse right now.
Did you see Showmaker yesterday?
No.
No, he crushed everyone.
Yeah, but
back-to-back.
That's Showmaker, you know?
Yeah, true.
It's not TF. It's Showmaker, so it's different.
But maybe I shouldn't be judging anyone off that one. Is Kanna thinking about being a puppy? Probably doesn't want to into a Jace. See what his decision is going to be, and we'll actually see exactly where this Karma is going to be going. I'd like a Yuumi, because Yuumi Karma Olaf is just insane. But it's not going to happen. It's going to be the Karma Ezreal for the bottom lane, and the Wukong picked into the Jace up here, top side of the map. This matchup isn't that bad for the Wukong if you can all in at the right times.
Yeah, but I'm wondering on Dynamics' team comp because they have such a great picks for the earlier games, you know, but they have worse jungler than the enemy team, so I'm not sure if he's like able to use that lane priors from the laners. And yeah, for T1 side, it's all about Olaf getting pushed. Olaf getting pressure in the lane. In the jungle side, and also Syndra being such a great matchup on the mid lane. You know. So
yeah, I actually think it's a real skill matchup between Syndra and LeBlanc a lot of the time. However, like you say, Scatter the Weak into Distortion does mean that Kuzan's going to have to be very careful with the trades that he's trying to take. Might need to be a little bit more sneaky on this LeBlanc this time around, but. Still, it's going to be very, very fun to track Syndra versus LeBlanc in mid lane. Closes next test here in the LCK. As Kanna's going to be on the Wukong. I was expecting the Karma to be towards the top side of the map, but they wanted a little bit more CC in a team fight.
Yeah, I think this Syndra and LeBlanc matchup is all about junglers, you know? So I think it really depends on Beyond right now. So let's see how it goes.
Exactly. Well, here we are, game number 1 of the day, our final day of week 8. As Dynamics try to take down T1. I love the correct color coordination based on the sides of the map these teams are. Game 2 is going to be all opposites and very confusing, but game 1, very, very clean. Having a look at some of these keystones. Effort taking Ignite is definitely aggressive.
plus Airy, plus Spell Thief as well.
And I love what the mid laners have done. We got Electrocute Ignite for both of them on both sides.
And Corrupting Pot as well.
Oh, baby. This is it's going to be spicy, to say the least.
Yeah, spicy for sure, but I think Kuzan can, if Kuzan can able to use his jungler more than enemy team, it can be really easy lane for LeBlanc as well, because there is no gank potential or a pressure from the Olaf when you're playing LeBlanc, you know? So I think it's more about how Zarban uses his early game power into this game.
Yep. Also, I mean, Jarvan's job is going to be sort of putting the Olaf in a box later on in the game as well. Just Cataclysm him, and then doesn't matter how many Ragnaroks you have, you can't run through the wall.
Level 1 invade.
Yep. T1 going to get amongst it. Beyond already out of there.
Yeah. This is such an easy invade with Olaf plus Karma plus Ezreal, you know?
Oh man, and Cuz is even starting on the chickens as well. As now Guga's going to be spotted there. Teddy doesn't quite find it, as there's the binding and the passive and a Peacemaker. Not a lot of peace to be made just there as Teddy takes half of his health bar. They're not going to miss out on any of the CS. And this is going to be a fun matchup as far as the bottom lane. Couple of Enchanter supports going against one another, and I think this is going to be rough for Teddy as Q comes out. It's powered by the mantra there for effort. If Dynamics are ever going to have a good matchup, it's going to be in the earlier stages in this lane.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly, Docdam predicted to Teddy to take TP, right? So that's why he took a TP himself, but Teddy just chose heal for the laning phase, so.
And they got Heal Ignite. So, fair bit of power here as Headshot comes down under effort, but good Inspire, keeps him alive.
Effort was playing so well right now. That's why they're getting pressure again. Even though they had worse trade at level 1. It's such a great news for T1 because as Caitlyn Lux, you should have push.
Oh yeah.
But also maybe the side change got affected a little bit as well.
Yeah, understanding that Cuz was on the bottom side of the map certainly has made things a little bit tougher as Rich is going to get the crash into this turret. Canna down to half. The Jace certainly putting on a lot of pressure in the early game, as would be expected. And does have his jungler around as well, so for Rich. So a tough time. Sort of a bit of a mirrored situation happening for both teams as Beyond considering a mid lane gank. Closer, just playing to the correct side of the map. Not very many opportunities here for Beyond, who will move over to the crab and take that one down. And yeah, I want to talk about sort of like how Caitlyn's lane pressure works as well, because we saw it yesterday. Deft absolutely crushing a Caitlyn lane as the Ashe seems to be the most common pick into it. It's not where T1 have gone, as now Beyond's going to come back once again. Distortion comes in, Chains not even thrown out yet, I don't believe. As Beyond's going to get stunned and Kuzan has to flash. Great timing there from Cuz, who will look for another undertow. Beyond down extraordinarily low. Now, Rich is forced to flash here towards the top side. Canna, he still has his. He was looking for the Nimbus strike, but doesn't quite get it off cooldown in time. And T1 pulling the trigger everywhere in answer to Dynamics and coming out on top.
Yeah, that was such a nice dragging play by Closer. He was not shaking at all. He was just moving towards where Kaz is.
Yeah.
And they made out such a great outcome from the mid jungle 2v2. And I even said that Jarvan needs to make early play then.
Ooh, we're going for the fight here as Teddy going to avoid the Peacemaker. Guga down to about 100. His effort is just going all in on this Lux.
Jarvan is
Teddy
coming.
Going forward is now Doctum having to flash. Q is going to miss as Teddy lands the Mystic Shot, but it's not quite enough now. Beyond looking to come in and tidy up this fight. Effort going to leash him, and they decide that they don't want to fight this one. Dynamics very, very low there on the bottom side. Thought maybe there was more of an opportunity there, but Dynamics are going to try and play it as safe as possible.
Yeah, everything is going great for T1. Just from the players, it's not about their rotation or strategy. It's just about the player difference right now, everywhere.
Well, let's have a look at how this trade went up towards the top side.
That was such a nice decoy usage, I think.
Yeah.
That made better trade. And they forced out all the flashes from the Dynamics side. Mid jungle, and also top side and both side. Only Gugu's flash is left. And you know what? T1 used nothing.
Exactly. They used heal and ignite on the bottom side. That's what they did. But yeah, you're right.
But flash is everything here.
3 flashes. Flashes on all of the carries of Dynamics are now on cooldown. And so it makes Beyond's job even harder. As Effort, he's in the mid lane again.
Oh.
Kuzan has the lane in a decent position for himself, so isn't going to be falling down. Gugu going to turn up. Probably cast some spells here. Closer. No mana left. Kuz is going to be taking down the Cloud Drake.
Yeah.
Trade that for a crab. You'll probably take that any day of the week here as T1.
That's pretty cute.
Dragon going to be the Infernal.
Yeah, that's pretty cute that Closer is using Faker's skin.
Yeah, right.
Right there.
I was expecting that one to happen.
Yeah.
But definitely a good shout out because Faker's not going to use it. Faker doesn't use skins. It's not his thing.
But sadly, Kuz isn't. Like there is T1 Olaf skin as well, you know. There are so many T1 skins.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what happens when you win that many times. Sort of how that one goes. Dynamics still farming very well here towards the bottom side. Teddy went for the Sheen, so the item spike when it comes to Mirror Mana is going to be a little bit later, but did want to have a little bit more lane control, and you can see it's helped him stay within touching distance against the lane power that comes from a Caitlyn, especially next to a Lux.
I think T1 is just getting all the advantages already because they're winning lane and also they silently got the first struck Drake as well. So I think it's already T1 is snowballing the game and Dynamics is just doing nothing basically, you know?
Yeah, I think
they're losing lane. That's the most important part.
The thing that's weird, right, is that they still do have Rich, who's ahead.
Yeah.
Currently highest level in the game, as well as up in CS against his opponent. As Dr. shoved this lane in as well, he's going to be in the lead. And it is very even, but to your point, I feel like T1 definitely are more happy to scale in this game rather than Dynamics, right? Like, yes, Doctor's going to be powerful in the late game. Caitlyn with 6 items is just ludicrous. But this is more of a 2-item spiking team. With Jace, with the LeBlanc. Beyond's going to come into the mid lane. There's the flash forward, but that scat of the week was so good out of Closer. Might not be out of the woods just yet, though, but Kuzan can't quite make it happen. And Closer once again mitigating this pressure.
I cannot believe that this is rookie player.
I know, right?
Like, he's so calm and collected, you know? Jarvan even flashed on it. But
although he didn't QE flash. He flash QE'd, which I'm not really a big fan of. I feel like he got a QE flash. Because then he could have flashed over the ability. But Gugu now in trouble. He's going to get lit on fire again. True Shot Barrage and the last tick, and that'll do it. Effort locks down that kill, and T1 in a 2v2 here on the bottom side. Just picking up free money as now Beyond gets an axe to the face, but Kuzan is here. That's a good Ragnarok timing, but 3 members of Dynamics I think is going to be enough to take down this Olaf as, oh my god, the healing through from the passive is really strong, but the Jace is just going to be able to take him down here as now Closer looking for the kill onto the Jace, but he's a little bit too tanky at the moment. No one's going to be taking down Shelly, but there's an answer back from Dynamics.
That was a bit greedy play from Kuz because his top was getting pushed in and also Closer was not ready to back up that Olaf right there. So pretty greedy play by T1. They could use also bot pressure as well, but lane Jarvan.
That was so good. Oh man. Didn't even say anything.
I mean, he just said Jarvan is on the mid lane probably.
Yeah.
That's all, you know. And such a clean kill from bot lane.
Yeah, not a lot of options there for the Lux. As we're going to have a look at Kuz falling down again.
Oh, live?
Yeah, in live we've got Gugu taking a lot of damage.
Flashed out.
That Lucent Singularity is going to slow any approach.
Yeah. I mean, from CS, we can see that they're not losing that hard in lane, but it feels like they're getting pressured in all lanes, you know?
Yeah.
Luckily, Jace didn't die after he got forced flash by Kana 1v1, but yeah, I mean, their bot lane is losing already with Caitlyn Lux, and also their ganking on the mid lane is not working out, so...
Well, that's a bit of damage there with Final Spark. Finalis Fulken, as our good friend Quickshot likes to say every single time. That's not the name of that ability anymore, is Shelly going down very, very low, Canna spinning, but Rich has found him. Beyond going to get snared, but does manage to buffer his QE. Shelly's still getting amongst it, but they've ignored her for the moment as Beyond going down very, very low, and the Olaf loves fights like this. Kuzan going to eventually grab that kill. It's now Rich moving back towards the top side. Not entirely sure who managed to grab the Rift Herald in amongst all of it. No, Shelly just got bored and went back home. As T1 do have a 200 gold lead, but this is still very, very close. This stage of the game as Teddy will be taking some turret plates bottom lane. Maybe it's not as close as we think.
I mean, T1 is making a lot of greedy plays at the same time, so it feels like Dynamics is getting more chances, but yeah. Luckily, that's not a huge deal when it comes to T1 snowballing. So if they can manage to snowball with the Drake cycle, then everything is fine.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this fight one more time. Kind of getting a bit blocked off, but Richard's got to hit a few more of these accelerated shock blasts in order to really get the most out of this Jace. Hasn't quite been finding the skill shots.
Kaz is just going forward.
Shelly she's over it.
Yeah. I mean, still Rich is getting a lot of top lane prior, so it makes it easier for Dynamic side when it comes to control of the top side river. But it's different story when it comes to both side river, because T1's bot lane is having such a great pressure on 2v2, so I don't think it's gonna be easy for Dynamics to control this Drake.
And full Manamune was picked up here by Teddy as well, so he's actually in a decent position.
Plus Shin as well.
Yeah, right. It's a strong Ezreal. Zocdom down there, but he's just picking up a minion wave. Kaz is clearing out all of the vision. Definitely going to move on over. Get rid of this control ward. T1 making it very dark. There's a shock blast. All right, Rich is going to nail that one. Grabs himself another turret plate as well, as Canna's going to take a few shots to the face, but he's going to be all right. Tiamat completed, as well as his Mage. Rich in a similar spot, going for second item, Black Cleaver. As Kuzan avoids a whole lot of everything. Playing very nicely here, as Closer gets a little bit upset. Throws a whole bunch of orbs. But Kuzan going to be absolutely fine for the minute. He's got the Merc Treads. That's going to mitigate a lot of the damage that the Syndra is going to be throwing out.
Rich is coming down. Both top laners has no TP, so this is such a great move from Rich. He's using his lane prior.
Yeah, Closer also getting chunked. Another shock blast going to land.
Yeah. Even though Rich was using his pressure from the top lane, they couldn't get the vision control on the both sides, so I'm not sure if that was enough for the Dynamic side, because eventually they need to cut down this Drake, you know, so I'm not sure this was the reward that they were looking for.
Yep, Ace in the hole just to soften up the Syndra, who doesn't have teleport, remember, so might be going back to get that health bar and the mana bar back into a usable position, and Canna went back top. T1's still starting off the Drake, but I don't know whether they should really have control of this area, but the reset timing, not great, and Kuz is going to be able to lock down the dragon. Final Spark not going to be able to steal it, and I feel like that was 100% T1 just getting the best of Dynamics that didn't have enough vision, not necessarily utilizing man advantage.
I'm not sure why Dynamics gave up that Drake, because I felt like Reach could just give up 1 or 2 waves on the top side,
right,
and just look for the Drake, because that was such a huge control from T1, you know, and Dynamics got such a great trade on the mid lane. Closer got most of the HP out from Kuzan, but nothing happened, you know. It was not proactive play by Dynamics, and T1 is just slowly getting everything on the bot side. So yeah, I think that was not a great choice by Dynamics.
Absolutely not. Canna doesn't have his Trinity Force just yet, but he's not going to lose his turret at this point in time. Plates have fallen a minute and a half ago. Is now Rich.
T1's bot turret is almost full HP against Caitlyn Lux.
I know, it's insane.
Caitlyn Lux!
Not sure how that's even possible. As finally a Rift Herald is taken.
Yeah.
It's Beyond that picks that one up, but it's not very useful at this stage.
I mean, if Caitlyn lost turret first against enemy team, then you can already say that, oh yeah, this Kate pick failed.
Yeah, it certainly did. And Teddy is ahead by close to 1,000 gold. Actually has the largest lead in the game. At this point in time, Guga going to avoid a lot of that damage there from the Karma.
But still, a good thing about Dynamics is that they have both lanes of side lane pressure. LeBlanc can always get some pressure with Jarvan, and also Jace can get pressure by himself. So they can use both lanes of pressure into the mid lane. But I'm not sure if they can do that, because at second Drake they didn't use anything, even though they got such a great pressure from mid lane, top lane. So
yeah, it was a steal, pretty much, for T1. Went over, they made the call, and they reaped the rewards. I like it. Proactive play, something that we were asking for from T1 a lot at the beginning of summer. Mining is going to go wide. And Teddy not quite finding too much damage on Doctor, but he's got an Iceborne Gauntlet, so the Caitlyn's not exactly going to be having the greatest of times up against this Ezreal. Does have the Infinity Edge. We'll see where the Caitlyn goes as far as the next item. I'd love to see a BF Sword picked up. I think Stormrazor's second item is just so much stronger, especially when Dynamics have such a two-item style of composition. As Rich going down extraordinarily low, and double flashes out from both of these top laners. Looks like Rich will have the acceleration gate relatively soon, and is going to make it to the safety of his turret. True Shot Barrage not going to quite land, but damn, that was close by Teddy. Love the decision. As there's the Rift Herald towards the bottom side. This is dangerous times though, because I mean, this is the only lane that Dynamics were winning up towards the top side, and now Canna getting the better of a lot of these trades.
Yeah. We're usually saying that second header is not that useful enough, but they couldn't get the first turret on the bot side with using header, you know? So
And Caitlyn.
yeah, I mean, this is such a sad news for Dynamics, because I definitely think that they need to snowball with this composition, because it feels like T1 has more balanced team comp when it comes to late game. So Rich is trying really hard though from top lane. He's getting all the vision by himself, and also Guga is helping him because they know that they have pressure, but
yeah, he needs to be safe though.
Yeah, because he almost got solo killed again.
Yeah.
From Kanna, you know?
I mean, Kanna is the solo kill god.
Yeah.
24 so far here in the LCK. 15 against his lane opponents each time. Thank you, stats team. There's True Shot Barrage doing a bit of work here. Going for a reset. 38 seconds on the Dragon. And Dynamics do have full information of exactly where everyone's going back, so should be able to get into this river bottom side and start clearing out some vision. But Beyond is busy with his Raptor camp, so not going to be doing that. I think that Dynamics really need to start thinking about what Dragons do, because it's important that they stop T1 from stacking these up. Soul Point going to be the next one here for T1.
They have to fight this Drake. That's 100% sure. So that's why Caitlyn is TPing back.
Also, getting as many items as possible here for Doctor. That is going to be important.
Yeah. But also T1, they have enough item to fight this Drake as well, so I think this is gonna be spicy fight on the Drake right now. 5v5, that's for sure. And
Cuz is completely chunked. As Canna, like you say, he's gonna teleport there towards the bottom side of the map. Still lying in wait right now.
They still have poke potential though, even though their jungle is slow.
I mean, this Dragon is gone, but now they're gonna walk into the monkey trap. In goes Canna, the 4-man knock-up. True Shot Barrage over 3, and already the Lux is dead. Effort is gonna be able to find himself a snare, and that's gonna be another kill for T1. Double kill for Canna as Closer. Gonna take a bit of damage there from the LeBlanc, but was it worth it there, Dynamics? You did get the Drake, but T1 smashes the fight and puts the kills onto the top lane that was suffering.
I'm pretty sure that Dynamics saw the TP from the Wukong, because he TP'd on the lane.
Yeah, right.
But it was not checked at all, and Kana made such a great play with this spinning monkey, even though he got exhausted, there is such a great Ezreal ulti on the top. And yeah, as you mentioned, I don't think this is such a great news for T1 already.
Yeah, it's working out. Not exactly as far as gold lead is concerned. Only 1,000 here at 20 minutes. It's not huge, but still feels like T1 have certainly stabilized despite losing that dragon. I mean, Docton is still going to get stronger and stronger, but unfortunately he's gone for the wrong build. It's second item, Zeal, come through, probably wanting the safety of a rapid-fire cannon.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I think Storm Razor is just so powerful. As a second item.
I mean, when you think about it, you're playing as Ezreal and Syndra, so if you have Storm Razor, and if you wanted to like land the auto attack on them, then you get one shot. So
yeah, well, I mean,
probably that's why
rapid-fire cannon might be important.
Might be better.
Yep. I do like players that choose their items based on what's happening in the game. Something that needs to happen more often. And look, Caitlyn's still farming pretty well. With the Singularity, going to deny Teddy a back. But he's just going to get mad. Try and do what he can there to Docton, who gets a headshot. But Mirror Mana complete here for Teddy. Also has the Iceborne Gauntlet. And this Ezreal is just not really going to be worrying too much about what the Caitlyn can do. Because he's just got a lot of armor. True Shot Barrage, that's going to stop 2 backs. Definitely worth it. Teddy's Eye, most certainly in here today.
Yeah, and also T1 is just doing just basic rotation right now, using mid prior when they can, and also just get the sideways when they have to. So it feels like Closer is getting better and better in team rotation as well. Because when he was playing Zoe, even though he got triple kill in the early game, he was not like able to snowball the game faster enough, you know. But yeah,
I actually think it says more about a player if you can get so much attention from the enemy jungle, from the enemy laners, and still manage to keep your head in the game. So once again, I mean, we're learning new and great things from Closer.
He's doing such a great job as well, because obviously LeBlanc needs Jarvan to get the side lane pressure against Syndra.
Yep.
But he's dodging everything. He didn't die at all, even though Jarvan ganked mid lane like 5 times, and he's doing such a great job as a side laner as well. So it's really surprising that Closer is getting so much better in the faster. And Kana?
Yeah, looking to find something here as Teddy moving over the side. There's the Cyclone as Rich down to half, but Kana in trouble as well. Docton gets some good autos. The empowered Q is going to deny. Now effort blocked off a little bit, but this is just T1 trying to get pressure. And I'm worried because slowly but surely T1 are just getting further and further ahead. And I don't know what Dynamics are going to be able to do about it. There's a minute until the second Ocean Drake. I mean, if they stack 4 of these up, then that's going to be a lot for T1 to deal with. But I have a feeling T1 should be able to get some control there around the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, I think it's just basic rotation before the Drake. Just help your side laner and get into the Drake pit. So I think T1 is gonna set up the right vision at the right timing.
Yep. Well, that rapid fire cannon we were talking about is now completed from Docton. He's got a lot of crit. Caitlyn is pretty happy at the moment. Just wanting to get those headshots. And look, she is going to be very, very strong. There are a lot of T1, like, there's not a lot of range on T1's side. So utilizing the added range of the Caitlyn is going to be very strong as we move later into the game. It's just the rest of T1 scales so nicely, their teamfight is so strong with the Wukong, with the Karma, that it will be very scary. And Karma also turns Olaf into a relevant late game champion as well, as now that Drake is live and we're looking for a team fight.
Dynamics got the better position right now, but their only worry is Wukong's position, right? So I think one of the players from Dynamics should find out where is Wukong.
Teddy.
He's showing on the bot side, so...
Oh, it's going to get chunked. There's a 3-man Cataclysm as Rich dives on in. The final spark not going to do too much, but it locks them up. And the Jace is going to grab the kill onto the Karma. A fantastic stun out of Closer, but they can't finish off the kills.
Can they stop the Drake, though?
Oh, cuz doesn't really want to be Going too aggressive here. Teleport available from Doctor and Rich. And the Caitlyn is already back. Full health. And yeah, Cuz going home. I have a feeling that T1 aren't going to be able to lock down this dragon as Cuz has to flash the Shock Blast. That was pretty blind, actually. It was just Rich expecting that to be the back location. And Dynamics right under the noses of T1 steal away yet another Drake. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be the guy that says it, Wadid. But Dynamics is slowly clawing their way back into this game.
Yeah, that's true. Whenever they are behind, they make such a great play as a team, you know? That's the important part. It's not from solo players. Their positioning was just so much better than T1 side, you know? Maybe because of team comp, they have no face checker on T1 side. It's only Olaf who can actually go front. But on live, it feels like Kana is getting solo kill.
Oh dear. Yeah. I mean, that's cold telling him to go away. He'd flashed. Rich didn't have his. But once again, Kana's going to be denied. Rich has gotten so close to being solo killed like 3 times this game. But that stat isn't continuing to go up. Someone should message Marin and just say, it's okay. Your stats are going to be safe. 2015 Marin, of course, sitting on 34 solo kills in 1 season, including playoffs. Pretty ludicrous as we're going to have a look at Rich's POV.
존나 튈게 일단.
What did he say?
와, 와 진짜 개 무섭네. 우후. 옹 러프해.
I'm not sure if I can translate this because, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, he really said, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run the F out.
I love it. I'm really glad that we got to hear it. As they're looking for closer once again. I have a feeling this time he's going to be dead. No flash available. As oh my god, he's turning it! And even gets the tribute, so he's going to stay alive. Cuz in exactly the right position. Kuzan has to flash, but the True Shot Barrage is there. And now Kuzan's going to get tethered, has a distortion, as Teddy's trying to catch up. Doctum in the river. But look, every time I say Close is dead, he's not. It's crazy.
Oh man. Closer, man.
He's just real good at the video game.
Yeah, that's true. It feels like his performance is getting better and better, and surprisingly, from rookie, we can see some confidence on it.
Yeah, right? And I like how, like, in the first few games, it was like how many solo kills he got. It was how aggressive he was playing. And now, it's how well he's defensively playing against what Dynamic's trying to do.
Yeah, that's really important part, because whenever LeBlanc is getting silent pressure with jungler, it should be such a huge advantage from Dynamic side, but Closer, man, this guy is just so strong.
Yeah. Just eating up all of that pressure. It's actually something that Faker used to be so incredibly good at.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like everyone would want to kill Faker.
That was same position as Faker's Orianna,
right?
When they played against Rock's Tigers back in the day.
Reminds me of when Dumbledoge got the kill onto Faker level 1 as his Janna, where they 5-man ganked mid lane. They lost that game very, very quickly.
But they won against Faker.
But it's sort of like that global taunt that Faker has, and it feels like Closer has picked that one up himself.
His reaction is so great.
And like, you'd expect him to die here, right? But no.
I think Kuzan failed the calculation of the damage from him.
Yeah.
So he backed out earlier.
탑 이제 봐줄게. 미드 선푸시하고 이번에 탑 무빙 좀 뚫을게.
Mid push first and come top side. We should get
탑
vision.
탑 본다 얘네.
We should help top. They're looking top.
르블랑 볼게. 르블랑 슬로우.
Look at LeBlanc. He's slowed. Got slowed. Yeah. Such a basic rotation and also great shot calling.
I think it's good to hear that Cuz is also
shot calling.
Yeah, getting some calls out. Shows that it's not all about effort. I feel like late game team fights effort does take a lot of control, but it's good to see Cuz making some calls.
I mean, vision control is from jungler plus support.
Right.
It's not about only support's job when it comes to the team game. So everything is going great for T1, but they have to fight again for this Drake. And last time, Dynamics' positioning was so much better than T1s.
And this is sole point for both teams now, if they're able to lock this one down. So 15 seconds, Closer already chunked.
I think Kana should look for flank, and that's the strong point from T1. And if that's not happening, I think Dynamics is better.
Closer taking a lot of damage, but Final Spark not going to connect. Still sitting at just under half health.
They are forcing it, and Kuzan is looking for flank maybe?
Yeah. Few buttons on cooldown here on Dynamics side, but I mean, they're playing against a Jace. Teddy just Arcane shifts on top of him, and in goes Beyond. Still holds on to the Cataclysm, jumps onto Closer there, who's surviving for such a long time, still alive in the backline. Can this damn Syndra die? I don't think so. Epic might be able to, as Kuzan now looking for Cuz, pops back out again as the Caitlyn is going to pick up the kill onto the Karma, and I believe Dynamics will be able to lock down the Dragon, so still a one fight, but I don't know how Closer is immune to death.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it, despite the fact that Dynamics clearly won. There's an immortal Syndra on this map.
It could be winning point from Dynamics, but yeah, T1's reaction was also good. But anyways, the outcome is so great for Dynamics side, and also that flank from Kuzan and engage from the front line Beyond. That was such a great synchronized play by Dynamics.
I think it was a mistake for T1 to start off the Drake though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're playing into Lux and Jace and Caitlyn. There is so much poke that you'd have to deal with.
I mean,
I don't think they should ever be the ones doing that.
They could have spotted out LeBlanc before the team fight, so... And they have no vision at all on enemy side, so... What can you do?
Well, Arcane shifting forward with Ezreal, who's been nerfed. That has a long cooldown now. Is a bit of a worry. Teddy does get it back off, but still, the health bars took a little bit too much from that one. As Doctor, this is with 3 items, right? Like, this is a very scary Caitlyn. You can see, no one can really walk in range.
Yeah, so that's why Kana should look for flank, you know? They are just making it so easy for Dynamics because, obviously, Dynamics has better skill sets for the straight up 5v5.
Yep.
So I think Kana should look for flank. They really need to look for some engage from many other directions, but it is not happening. So it feels like it's such an easy team fight for Dynamics at this point. But whenever Kana can look for the flank with Spinning Monkey, then I think everything is fine, and still T1 is really strong. Ezreal got 4th item earlier than Caitlyn.
Yeah, Blade of the Rune King done now, as well as his Death Stance. This is a very, very strong Ezreal. There's another BF sword picked up by Doctor, so he's going to have Bloodthirster relatively soon. And Caitlyn does scale, I mean, with 6 items as far as just flat damage scaling, Caitlyn is very, very good. Even if the numbers aren't necessarily as high potentially, he can often safely stand in a backline and just get off auto after auto, and headshot is just pretty brutal when it comes to late game.
I mean, he's playing great game.
Yeah, I think Doctor, this is one of the better performances we've seen out of him.
Yeah, especially against Teddy, you know?
Yeah, right. And Teddy is by no means playing poorly. He did Arcane Shift at the wrong time last time, but he wasn't really punished for it, as we saw.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's happening on the sideline for both teams, because the waves are on a weird position right now, so...
Yeah, not a lot of maintenance has been done. There's a lot of avoidance by Dynamics. I like the dance moves on this team at the moment. Avoiding a lot of what T1 is trying to throw out.
It's
and Teddy. Ooh, dear.
Oh, man. It's all up to Teddy when it comes to just straight up 5v5, because it's only full potential for
Yeah,
T1.
there's the Final Spark. Heading over the top of the Olaf, and he's going to be taken down as Kuzan grabs that kill, but Ezreal eradicates the Caitlyn from the fight, and now Kana trying to dive on top of Beyond. Guga just doing everything he can for his team, but without the Caitlyn, this Dynamics team is going to fall apart, and Teddy looking to even go further aggressive.
Yeah, that was
winning a beautiful fight.
Such a great engage from Kana, and whenever Kana can make a great engage, I think Dynamics has no escape tool against that Kong. So, yeah. I mean, they shouldn't look for poke fights against Caitlyn, Lux, and LeBlanc, and Jace, obviously. Yeah. So, look at the Kana position. He was just instantly flashing on Caitlyn. Whenever Doctam is overstepping.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage once again perfectly placed there by Teddy. And this is Dynamics being forced to back away. No real options there. But still, Drake's up in 40 seconds. Dynamics have everyone back alive, and there are mad pings towards that Drake pit. If 4-stack Ocean Drake, Soul, silly amounts of regen and safety for Dynamics, and they want to be in a poke war, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kana has no flash right now, so it can be harder because it was not that clean team fight, even though Kana made out such a great team fight last time. So right now it will be even harder to reach to the poke comp from the Dynamic side.
Well, Dragon up now. 2 seconds time. T1 thinking about just starting it straight away. You saw Teddy moving on down there, but Dynamics still trying to hold together. Flank from Kuzan, not spotted by T1 just yet. And Teddy just going so aggressive, beyond down to about half, as now Cannon's going to dive in. True Shot Barrage lands, and once again, the Caitlyn singled out and destroyed. Guga going to follow, as now Kuzan has to get out of there, and now Soul Point is going to be on T1 as well. I love it. They had a game plan, and they stuck to it. 4,000 gold the lead for T1, and they're looking at a Baron.
Great play by T1, but at the same time, that was such a mispositioning by Dokdam. I'm not sure like why he was overstepping when they have no vision control. They should know that T1 was not starting the Drake at all, so they could play a bit slower, but Caitlyn just overstepped and got one-shot by Ocon. This is not a great news at all for Dynamics.
Oh dear. Feels like Canna is online, guys.
Teddy's online too, by the way.
Yep. And that, just the two of them, push away 3 members of Dynamics. The bottom lane are now going to be running back from the fountain, but Baron has been taken and it feels like the damage has been done. This is by no means a stomp or anything like that for T1, but this late game has been all about them having just better control in back-to-back team fights.
I mean, look at the Caitlyn position, you know? It's not Caitlyn's job to poke them out. It's only LeBlanc and Jace and Lux can throw their skills out. But yeah, that was such a bad positioning by Dokdam.
본다 이거 본다.
here.
잡았다 키트 잡았어.
I got Kate.
좀만 맞아. 다 할만해.
With me. I think we can get them.
Spins his way back to the Dragon.
I mean, just instantly when Dokdam was like coming forward, he was just calling everything. So
every team fight that T1 has won, it has been because Canna carried it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This guy's Wukong is very, very good. 3-0 and 3 now. 700 gold bounty on his head. He's got a Mortal Reminder. Looking to finish off Ravenous Hydra, maybe, as his 6th item.
I mean,
as Teddy looking to try and kill Rich by himself. He should be able to do it if Rich sticks around, but he's not going to. Guga turns up. And looks like this inner turret is well and truly dead.
yeah, I think that point is the reason why Kana is considered as top 3 in LCK. Because, yeah, I mean, some player can be really good at solo killing and laning phase, but not in the team fight at the same time, you know? But he's good at lane and also good in the late game as well, you know?
We're going for a bit of a base trade. As Tower going to be taken in mid lane here by Canna. But Inhibitor Tower just going to fall for free by the looks of things. No one on T1 looking to go back. They do have empowered recalls as Closer going to get chunked there by Dokdam. Guga, though, is in trouble. Teddy's going to find that Mystic Shot all too easily. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be an inhibitor for Inhibitor by the looks. As, no, the Inhib not going to actually be focused down by Kuzan. It looks like T1 are just looking for the win, saying that their base doesn't really matter.
They need to engage.
They manage to kill the Nexus. In goes Kuzan, looking for it. True Shot Barrage over the top, and then once again the Caitlyn's dead. Oh no. Dokdam having a rough one, as that's a great double stun out from Closer, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the end of the game. It doesn't matter whether you lose an inhibitor or not. If you just take the enemy Nexus, Canna's going to be the one that takes that 50 gold, and I have a feeling that he's going to take the POG as well. He mitigated so much pressure that Rich had on top of him, and then won like 5 team fights.
I mean, even though he was not getting a lot of laning pressure, like the way how he take the team fight was amazing. And yeah, I mean, there was some shaky rotation by T1 as well when it comes to 3rd and 4th Drake because of positioning. It was not great, but after that, they understand what's going on the map, and they just spot out the LeBlanc, and they just reposition.
Yeah.
And refresh, and that was Kana who made out such a great team fight.
And I really liked it, right? Because the call was made to just win the game very, very early.
Oh, yeah.
From that position. Because if it had have been them taking an inhibitor and the LeBlanc also taking an inhibitor, that's not a trade that you ever want to make, right? But they decide that, all right, well, if the LeBlanc's going to be there, then we're going to take your entire base. And I think the focus onto the Caitlyn was very, very strong in the last 3 team fights in a row that led to the win for T1, because we saw that Dynamics were able to take team fights if the Caitlyn had decent positioning.
Yeah.
But it was just so hard to position against the Wukong. It feels like that pick was just so good, especially for the late game team fight.
Exactly. That's why solo queue Caitlyn and team game Caitlyn is different. You know, if you make one mistake from that champion, then that champion is just so useless. And
Yeah.
especially, it's not the team come around Caitlyn. You know, so maybe it was a bit harder, but I think Dynamics' performance is still great to see, like how they take the team fight and the rotation when it comes to the Drake.
Yeah.
They are still making a lot of good plays, but it can be lost chance for them, so they need more.
They need to win these next 2 games if they want any chance of playoffs. T1 looking to try and have a bit of an opportunity in 3rd place. They can do that if they win the game right after the break.
밀자 이거 밀자. 미는데.
더 밟지 말고. 오케이, 천천히.
끝나겠다. 야 뭉치면 끝나 이거.
탑 안 가도 돼, 이거. 보다
바텀
봐.
뭉치자 이거.
쭉 갈게 이거.
포킹
아,
조심해.
안
뒤에
눌렀다.
있어라. 신들어 뒤에 있어.
원 한번 바꿔 가자.
너한테 거는 게 마지막 답이야.
기한 눌렀다. 기한 눌렀다. 르블랑.
일단 있어 상관없어요.
오케이, 캐트풀 있어.
아 캐틀플 있어. 아래 봐줘.
캐트 잡았다 이거.
오케이.
거가 빠졌어. 르블랑 넣어줘봐.
카일 있어.
됐다. 아, 나이스.
아, 오구 잘했다. 아,
단정이
잘했어.
잘 걸었다 이거.
아,
다행이네.
오구만